Before the neon, before the towers, before even the name Tokyo existed, there was only the river and the reeds. In the year 628, two brothers cast their nets into the Sumida. They pulled up something extraordinary, a golden statue. The Kannon, goddess of mercy. The village headman built a small temple to house her. Sensō-ji was born. For 8 centuries, pilgrims came. A village grew around devotion. But this place had no strategic importance. Yet, then, in 1457, a warrior poet named Ōta Dōkan looked at this estuary and saw something others had missed. A natural harbor, rivers for transport, high ground for defense. Here, he would build a castle. Edo Castle rose from the marshland in 1457, a modest fortress on the edge of nowhere. Its time would come. For 130 years, Edo Castle changed hands through war and politics. Then, in 1590, a new master arrived, a man who would change everything. Tokugawa Ieyasu entered Edo on August 1st, 1590. What he found was a swamp. What he envisioned was an empire. Other lords saw exile to this backwater. Ieyasu saw opportunity. He began reshaping the land itself to match his ambition. He moved a mountain, literally. Kanda Hill was carved away, its earth used to fill the inlet and create new land. He diverted rivers, dug canals, and created a network of moats that would define the city for centuries. In 1600, Ieyasu gambled everything at Sekigahara. He won, and Edo's destiny was sealed. It would be the capital. 3 years later, in 1603, the emperor appointed Ieyasu shogun. The Tokugawa shogunate had begun. It would last 265 years. Now the real transformation could begin. Every feudal lord in Japan would be forced to build Edo, with their own money, their own labor, their own stone. The Sankin Kotai was brilliant and cruel. Every lord must spend alternate years in Edo. Their families, permanent hostages. 300 lords built mansions in Edo. Their servants, their merchants, their entertainers followed. The population exploded. By 1609, Edo had 150,000 people. By 1721, over 1 million, the world's largest city, and it was just beginning. Edo Castle was the heart. Its main towers soared 5 stories high, the tallest in Japan, a symbol of absolute power. But in 1657, disaster struck. The Great Mareki Fire consumed 2/3 of Edo. Over 100,000 perished. The castle tower, gone forever. The shoguns never rebuilt the tower. They didn't need to. Their power was no longer about castles. It was about culture. Nihonbashi, the Bridge of Japan. In 1603, it became kilometer zero. Every road in the nation led here. Every distance measured from this point. Asakusa and its ancient Sensō-ji Temple became the spiritual heart. 30 million pilgrims would eventually visit each year. And in the pleasure quarters of Yoshiwara, a parallel world existed. Courtesans, kabuki actors, artists, the floating world, ukiyo. Ukiyo-e prints captured this world. Hokusai's waves, Hiroshige's roads, Japanese art that would eventually transform Western painting. For 250 years, Japan closed itself to the world. Edo flourished in isolation, developing a culture found nowhere else on Earth. Then, on July 8, 1853, 4 black ships appeared in Edo Bay. American warships. The modern world had arrived uninvited. Commodore Perry demanded Japan open to trade. The shogunate, facing weapons it couldn't match, had no choice but to comply. The arrival shattered 250 years of stability. Within 15 years, the shogunate would collapse, and Edo would transform into Tokyo. In 1868, the last shogun surrendered Edo Castle without a fight. The teenage Emperor Meiji traveled east from Kyoto. He had a new name for this place, Tokyo, the eastern capital. The Meiji government looked at Tokyo and saw the past. They wanted to build a future, at any cost. In 1872, Japan's first railway opened Shimbashi to Yokohama. Crowds watched the steam locomotive in disbelief. The future had arrived. Western brick buildings rose in Ginza and Marunouchi. Gaslights illuminated streets that had known only paper lanterns for centuries. But the old Edo Castle, what would become of it? The emperor made it his residence. The imperial palace was born. 1889, Japan adopted a constitution. Tokyo was now capital of Asia's first constitutional monarchy. The world took notice. By 1905, Tokyo's population hit 2 million. It was transforming faster than any city in history, but at a cost. Much of old Edo was demolished. Ancient temples, historic neighborhoods, cleared for progress. Some mourned what was lost. In 1914, Tokyo Station opened, a grand red brick monument to Japan's arrival as a modern power, the gateway to the nation. The Taisho era brought democracy, jazz, and flappers. Tokyo embraced the modern world with electric enthusiasm, literally. By 1923, Tokyo had 3.7 million people, modern infrastructure, electric trains, everything a great city needed, except one thing: luck. At 11:58 a.m. on September 1st, 1923, the ground began to shake. What happened next would test whether this city could survive. The earthquake struck at lunch hour, when thousands of charcoal cooking fires were lit. The shaking stopped. The burning began. Within hours, individual fires merged into a firestorm. The wooden city, built over centuries, was consumed in a single afternoon. 40,000 people fled to the Honjo clothing depot, an open space near the river. They thought they would be safe. Then came the dragon twist, a tornado of fire. In minutes, 38,000 people died in that single space. The worst was yet to come. The Ryunkaku Tower, symbol of modern Tokyo, collapsed. Ancient Sensō-ji survived, but barely. The city was unrecognizable. When the fires finally died, over 100,000 were dead. More than half the city, destroyed. Tokyo lay in ashes. But Tokyo refused to die. Within days, rebuilding began. Goto Shinpei, the home minister, declared a bold vision: make Tokyo modern, fireproof. New earthquake-proof bridges spanned the Sumida, wider streets, reinforced buildings. Tokyo would rise again, stronger, more resilient, more determined. By 1935, Tokyo had recovered 3.7 million people in a modern, rebuilt city. They had conquered nature's fury. But another destruction was coming, this one man-made. December 7th, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Tokyo celebrated. They did not know what they had awakened. For 3 years, the war seemed distant. Tokyo continued, rationed but intact. Then American bombers came within range. General Curtis LeMay had a new strategy. Forget precision bombing. Fill the bombers with napalm. Burn the city down. March 9th, 1945. Shortly after midnight, 334 B-29s took off. Their target, the Shitamachi, Tokyo's most densely populated district. Pathfinder aircraft marked the target with a fiery axe. Then the main force dropped 600 tons of incendiaries. Tokyo erupted. The firestorm reached 800 degrees. Canals boiled. 16 square miles burned. In a single night, more destruction than Hiroshima. Sensō-ji Temple, 300 years of continuous worship, burned to the ground. The Nakami shopping street, the pagoda, all gone. Dawn revealed hell. Over 100,000 dead, 1 million homeless, 60% of Tokyo erased. Again. The bombing continued until August 15, 1945. When Japan surrendered, Tokyo barely existed. Its population had halved. But in the ruins, something extraordinary would begin. Under American occupation, Tokyo began again. From nothing. No master plan this time. Just survival. Just rebuilding. One house at a time. By 1950, the population had nearly doubled, 3.5 million to 6.3 million. People poured back to rebuild their city. The Korean War brought manufacturing orders. Japan's economy ignited. What would become known as the economic miracle had begun. In 1958, Tokyo Tower rose 333 meters, higher than the Eiffel Tower. A symbol of recovery painted in international orange and white. Sensō-ji Temple was rebuilt with donations from across Japan. The main hall rose in 1958, now with a fireproof titanium roof. 1959. Tokyo won the bid for the 1964 Olympics. The world would be watching. Everything had to be perfect. The city became a construction site. Expressways rose above ancient canals. The Nihonbashi Bridge, kilometer 0, disappeared under concrete. On October 1st, 1964, 9 days before the Olympics opened, the Shinkansen departed Tokyo Station. Destination, Osaka. Speed, 210 kilometers per hour. The 1964 Tokyo Olympics announced Japan's return, not as a defeated enemy, but as a technological and cultural leader. From 3.5 million in 1945 to nearly 11 million in 1964. In 20 years, Tokyo had performed a miracle. But the miracle was only beginning. The next decades would see Tokyo grow into something unprecedented, the largest metropolitan area the world has ever known. Today, Tokyo is beyond comprehension. 14 million people in the city proper, 37 million in Greater Tokyo, the largest urban area on Earth. Shinjuku Station. 3.5 million passengers pass through daily, the world's busiest station. Every single day, controlled chaos. Shibuya Crossing. Up to 3,000 people cross at once, the most pedestrian-dense intersection on the planet. A living organism. When night falls, Tokyo transforms. Shinjuku's Kabukicho district blazes with neon, a galaxy of light advertising pleasure, entertainment, escape. Akihabara. Once a black market, now the global capital of anime, gaming, and electronic obsession. Otaku culture made visible. In 2012, Tokyo Skytree opened, 634 meters tall, the world's tallest tower. From its peak, you can see forever. Yet amid the hyper-modernity, the old Edo survives. In Yanaka, wooden houses and temples recall a slower time. Asakusa and Sensō-ji still draw 30 million pilgrims each year, exactly as they have for 14 centuries. The Imperial Palace occupies the same ground as Ōta Dōkan's castle from 1457. Some things endure through every transformation. Tokyo was destroyed twice in one generation and rebuilt twice. Each time, it came back stronger. That is the city's soul. From the neon canyons of Shibuya to the ancient groves of Meiji Shrine, Tokyo holds every era simultaneously. In 2021, Tokyo hosted the Olympics again. Delayed by pandemic, watched by a changed world, the city proved its resilience once more. Today, construction never stops. New towers rise. The skyline shifts year by year. Tokyo is never finished, always becoming. From marshland to fishing village. From castle town to shogun's capital. From ashes to neon. Tokyo endures. This is Tokyo, a city that has died and risen more than any other. A place where the past and future meet in every moment. 14 centuries of transformation. And it's still just beginning.